Hi everyone, I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special book haul video for you, and it is special because it is a book haul that is inspired by my wonderful subscribers. I recently did the 901 books tag. That one of the prompts was to ask the subscribers what their favorite books were, and boy did everyone deliver. I got so many books listed. It was absolutely magnificent to see that kind of response. I really appreciate everyone listing all of these books out. Unfortunately, I do not have a book haul for every book that was listed. It just wouldn't be feasible to. So if you listed a book and I don't mention you or mention your channel, no, I apologize for that. I wish I could list out and buy every book that was there, but it just wouldn't be feasible to do so. What I did do is I went out to places like thrift books and half price books and found discounted versions. So all of these books, except for I think 2 of them, are used books, and some of the cases very well loved used books. So you'll see a big mix of books, but what I love so much about all the suggestions is there's a wide mix of time periods, publication dates, genres, nonfiction in this mix, and I love it. So thank you again. It means the world to me, everyone who had left me a comment. I wish I could buy them all. I do. But the first one that I'm going to talk about is actually, I almost forgot. So the other thing is that with these, I'm going to commit to reading these books in 2023. Some of them will go along with other prompts like reading a nonfiction in the month or reading a new release in the month. And so I'm going to double down where I can on my existing reading goals. But I am committing on camera, on record for everyone, that I will be trying to read these in 2023. So hopefully about the average pace of about 1 per month. So with that, one of the books that was suggested I actually owned. So I'm going to do that one first. And that is The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. And this was recommended to me by Melinda at Web of Stories. Melinda is a new to me booktuber with only 40 something subscribers. So I'd love you to go and check her out. I think that would be amazing. This particular book I have seen floating around on booktube. Obviously I have bought it. The things I know about it are limited. The things I know about it are, I think it's in a bookstore, I think there's a pandemic, and I think there's a ghost. That's what I have for you. I'm not going to read the cover because I don't necessarily like doing that very often, but The Sentence is the first book. So thank you so much, Melinda, and definitely go and check out her channel. That would be wonderful. Okay, the next book is actually from a subscriber, and the subscriber goes by Stacy V. And Stacy gave me this one, Tagana by Guy Gabriel K. This book was published, I believe, back in 1990. I have notes written on the back because, of course, I do. I have to cheat that way. Was published back in 1990 and is a fantasy book. I don't read a lot of fantasy, so thank you so much, Stacy, for giving me a fantasy book. I love that. The other person who gave me a fantasy book was David Wiley. He gave me Sea of Rust, which I would like to read. Absolutely like to read, but I don't have it here. So Sea of Rust is another one, and David Wiley is another great booktuber you should absolutely go check out. But Tagana by Guy Gabriel K. So what is this one actually about? It says this is that rare spellbinding novel in which myth comes alive and magic reaches out to touch us. Tagana is the magical story of a beleaguered land struggling to be free. It is the tale of a people so cursed by the black sorcery of a cruel despotic king that even the name of their once beautiful homeland cannot be spoken or remembered. Cool. It is a chunky book, so we'll see when I can get to this particular one. But thank you so much, Stacy, and thank you, David Wiley, for Sea of Rust. Hopefully I can figure out a way to get that fairly soon. All right, the next book is from Jillian over at Novel Opinion. So thank you so much, Jillian, for this one. And it is The 100 Years of Lenni and Margot by Marianne Cronin. This book was published in 2021, though this version that I have is a very loved paperback. So unless I have the publication date incorrect, this has been very well read. So I definitely got it from thrift books. So sometimes you get less than high quality versions of books or editions of books, but This particular book I have not heard of before, so I'm very thankful that Jillian suggested it. And this one, when I read the inside, I'm only going to read a little bit of it. It says 17-year-old Lenni Pedersen lives on the terminal ward of Glasgow Princess Royal Hospital. Though she's been told she's dying, Lenni still has plenty of living to do. And that is all I'm going to read about the back of it, because I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to find out. Is this book going to make me cry though, Jillian? I think it might. But Jillian at Novel Opinions recommended this one. So thank you very, very much. And the next one actually came from a subscriber who goes by Joe. And then also my good friend Sonia also was talking about this book with me recently on Voxer. And it is The Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. This book was published in 2012. I am late to the Bachman party, without a doubt. I haven't read any Bachman yet. I own one other one. I own Anxious People, but I am very excited to pick this one up. One, because I know Sonia loves this book and just recently read it, and I know it made her cry. I'm a big softie. Maybe I should separate, Lenni and Margot if this one's going to make me cry. Man Called Ove, I don't know yet. But this particular one I know is being made into an adaptation, or into a movie starring Tom Hanks, and I have to read the book before I can see the movie, and I really want to see the movie. So, A Man Called Ove, that's the next one. All right, and the next one is from a subscriber who is Dqan. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but this particular book is one that was published in 1996, and it is Death and the Penguin by Andrei Kurkov. Why do I say Audrey? I don't know. But this one, I love the cover of this with the red and the penguin and the umbrellas. It makes me think of, for some reason, Batman. Old school Batman, Danny DeVito as the penguin. I digress. The back of this one, though, says, aspiring writer Viktor Zolotaryov, oh boy, okay, leads a down-and-out life in poverty and violence-racked Kiev. He's out of work, and his only friend is a penguin, Misha, that he rescued when the local zoo could no longer feed its animals. But Viktor doesn't know how to keep himself alive, let alone an animal so out of its element. Wow, that I may have to put this one sooner rather than later, and it is short. This is a used library book, which I absolutely adore. I love it when I get books that have this date. Check out the stamp. It makes me feel like when I was in high school. So I graduated before this, so not by too many years, but I did graduate before this. So thank you so much. Really appreciate this one. I'm intrigued, very intrigued. All right, so the next one is by is one book that I actually own and was on my November nonfiction TBR, but I am going to commit to read it in 2023, and it is The Boys in the Boat. I'm going to get it done. Dia over at Novel Idea said that this was one of her favorite reads, so I'm going to put it back on the TBR for 2023 and commit to reading it. It's a nonfiction book. I'm not going to talk about it. It's my second time it'll be on the TBR. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it this time, Dia. I promise. All right, so the next one is from Sandra Hollins. Sandra, you have a great name. Just saying. And the book is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I have this on my TBR as being read. I don't remember much about it, which tells me I don't think I really read all of it. I may have read part of it. I need to go back and reread it. So I am putting this one on there because I don't remember it. I know there's a woman on a train who sees something. She's not sure what it is. There's also a movie about this one, which I haven't actually watched either. So I think it's a good one to add, maybe in a March murder mystery kind of timeline. Maybe this would be a good one for that month. So thank you so much, Sandra. Appreciate it. And then the next one is a nonfiction pick that is from Heidi over at My Reading Life. I love Heidi so much. I love her channel. We have done many buddy reads together, and this one she sent was How the Word is Passed by Clint Smith. She didn't send it. She wrote a comment. Sorry. This is also a used library book, which I love. This one is A Reckoning with the History of Slavery Across America. I'm very interested in reading this one. I have another book that I also would like to read, which is The Emancipator and the Zealot, which is kind of in the same time period, or about the same time period. I'd love to kind of pair those together if possible. This one I should be able to fit in with one of my read a nonfiction book every month prompts. We'll see how that goes, but The Word is Passed by Clint Smith. And then Jacqueline McMenamin left me a massive list of books, which I adore. Thank you so much. I had to pick one, and the one that I picked from Jacqueline is this one, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Deesha Philyaw. I'm not sure again if I'm saying that right. This was published in 2020. I had seen this on a couple of other booktube channels and was intrigued by it. And then I read the back of it, and it pairs really well with The Woman They Could Not Silence, a little bit in there, kind of with The Women That Could Not Silence. It slightly pairs, it seems like it might pair really well with that one. And this, plus it's short. So The Secret Lives of Church Ladies explores the raw and tender places where Black women and girls dare to follow their desires and pursue a momentary reprieve from being good. The 9 stories in this collection feature 4 generations of characters grappling with who they want to be in the world, caught as they are between the church's double standards and their own needs and passions. So really the only connection between The Woman They Could Not Silence is the church aspect of it, because the woman who they could not silence was married to a preacher. That's really probably the only connection to that, but that's what part of the reason why I picked this one. Plus, I think this cover is amazing. So thank you so much, Jacqueline. Hopefully I can pick up some other of your favorite ones this year, but this is the one that is officially going on the TBR. All right. The next one is a older book. It was published in the 1930s, and it is from subscriber MC, and that is The Fortnight in September by R.C. Sheriff. There was also a nonfiction book that they recommended. I couldn't easily find it for some reason, so this is the one that I ended up picking up. And this particular one, when we read this, it says, meet the Stevens family as they prepare to embark on their annual holiday to the coast of England. Mr. and Mrs. Stevens first made the trip to Bognor Regis, I'm not sure that's how you say that, on their honeymoon, and the tradition has continued every September since. They follow the same carefully honed schedule, now accompanied by their 3 children, 30-year-old Mary, 17-year-old Dick, and little brother Ernie. And that's all I'm going to read. I love the old-timey look and feel of this cover, though. Something about the swimsuit makes me think 1930s. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's the cap that she has on. Possible, don't know, but I'm really looking forward to this one. I love that this is a little bit older book. I did go check if it was on the 1001 book list, and sadly it is not. Too bad. I would have loved to double dip that way, but The Fortnight in September, so thank you so much for that one. And the last physical book that I have is from Fraser Simon over at Springboard Thought, and he gave me this one, Say Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe. I'm delighted. I'm so happy. This was one of his favorite books from last year, because I have read Empire of Pain by the same author and loved it. Had bought this one. It was sitting on my shelf, and I'm ecstatic. So I'm very excited. I hope it lives up to what Fraser said about it when we chatted on Voxer as well, or on Zoom. I can't remember now. But I've heard absolutely excellent things about this book, even if you know nothing about Ireland, which is what this book is actually about. So I also knew nothing about the opioid crisis, and I loved that book, even though it was maddening. So yeah, I'm very excited to dip into Patrick Radden Keefe. And there is another, he has a new book out called Rogues, so I'd really like to read that one as well. But Patrick Radden Keefe, Say Nothing, Fraser Simon, thank you so much. That's all I have from a physical book perspective. There were a number of other channels and a number of other books that were recommended. I will leave all of those linked in the description below. I'd love it if you go check out everyone. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much again to everyone who left a comment and gave me a book. I am thrilled. I'm so happy with what I ended up with, what I was able to purchase, and I can't wait to read a bunch of these next year. Wish me luck. Hopefully I can get through some of them. We'll see if I can add some other ones from the rest of the list over the next year. We'll see how it goes. But with that, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks everyone. Bye.